I had spent months planning the perfect anniversary gift for my parents, a 2-week vacation to a beautiful resort. Fully paid for. It wasn't just a trip. It was my way of showing appreciation for everything they had done. I had carefully budgeted, researched the best locations, and made sure every detail was perfect. Then, my sister, Emily, walked in with a car, a brand new luxury car with a giant red bow, right in our parents' driveway. The moment they saw it, their eyes widened in shock. "Oh, Emily, this is unbelievable," my mother gasped, covering her mouth in delight. Dad ran his hands along the sleek exterior, already beaming with pride. "You didn't have to do this, sweetheart." Emily just smiled, soaking in their admiration. "Nothing's too much for you two." And just like that, my carefully planned gift faded into the background. I stood there, holding the envelope with the vacation details, suddenly feeling like an afterthought. They hadn't even asked about my gift yet, and Emily knew exactly what she was doing. For the rest of the evening, all anyone could talk about was the car. "Imagine driving this to our reunions," Mom gushed. "It's the nicest thing anyone has ever done for us," Dad added. I waited for the right moment to bring up the trip, but it never came. Whenever I tried, the conversation somehow circled back to Emily's unbelievable generosity. Finally, I just handed my mother the envelope. "I planned a trip for you too," I said, forcing a smile. She took it absent-mindedly, still glancing at the car. "Oh, that's nice, honey. Nice, that was it." Emily shot me a small, satisfied smirk. She had won. A week later, I got a text from Emily. "Hey, I need to talk to you about something. Call me." I frowned but called her anyway. "Hey," she answered casually. "So, about the car. I already didn't like where this was going." "What about it?" "Well, I need you to cover the payment." I nearly dropped my phone. "What?" "The bill," she said, as if I were the unreasonable one. "I financed the car, but I put it under your name." I felt my stomach drop. "You did what?" "Oh, don't be dramatic. You make good money, and it's for Mom and Dad." I was speechless. "You're kidding," I finally said. Emily sighed as if I were being difficult. "Come on, you know they love the car. Do you really want to be the reason they lose it?" I gripped my phone tighter. "You expect me to pay for a car you bought just to one-up me?" She scoffed. "It's not about that. It's about them." I let out a bitter laugh. "No, Emily, it's about you." An hour later, my mother called. "Honey," she began, her voice overly sweet. "Emily told me about the car situation." I closed my eyes. "Yeah, and, well, she did it for us, sweetheart. Don't you think it's a little unfair to leave her hanging like this?" I clenched my jaw. Unfair. She put the car in my name without telling me. She assumed you'd help. She assumed wrong. Mom sighed. She wouldn't ask if she didn't need it. "And honestly, you make good money. This isn't going to bankrupt you." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "What about Emily? She makes money too. Why isn't she paying for it?" Mom hesitated. "You know how she is. She's never been as responsible as you, so I have to pay for her mistakes. She did it out of love." "No, Mom, she did it for attention." Silence. Finally, Mom said, "I'm disappointed in you." And that was that. The days that followed were a mess. My father sent a long text urging me to be reasonable. My mother alternated between guilt-tripping and silent treatments. And Emily, she played the victim. I considered paying. Maybe it would be easier. But no, this wasn't about money. It was about respect. At the next family dinner, my father set his glass down hard and turned to me. "Are you really going to let this tear the family apart?" I looked at him. "I'm not the one who caused this. We're family," Mom added. "We help each other." I met Emily's gaze. She looked bored, like she already knew I'd fold. But I didn't. "No," I said firmly. "We don't help each other. I help you. And I'm done." Silence. Emily scoffed. "Whatever. If you want to be selfish, be selfish." And in that moment, I realized no matter how much I gave, it would never be enough. So I stood up, walked away, and for the first time in my life, I didn't look back. At first, it hurt, but with time, the weight on my chest lessened. I focused on work, reconnected with friends, and started painting again, something I hadn't done in years. Then, one day, Emily called. "Can we meet?" she asked. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a cafe. She stirred her coffee before speaking. I just wanted to say, "I didn't mean for things to get so bad between us." I raised an eyebrow. "You didn't." She sighed. "Okay, fine. Maybe I handled things badly, but you could have helped." And there it was. I shook my head. "Emily, I used to envy you, but now I don't anymore." She frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" I smiled. "You still need their approval." "I don't." For the first time, she looked unsure. 3 years later, I got a call from my mother. "Emily's in trouble," she said hesitantly. I sat down. "What kind of trouble?" "She's being investigated for fraud." Apparently, she had taken out loans in someone else's name like she had done to me. Only this time, the victim hadn't let it slide. "There's a trial," Mom whispered. "She might go to jail?" I exhaled slowly, and for the first time, I felt nothing. "I'm sorry," I said simply. "Honey, do you think you could?" "No," I interrupted. Mom let out a quiet, broken sigh. And I knew this time I wasn't going to save them. Not ever again.